You're listening to The Monetized Mom, the podcast that teaches moms of faith how to monetize their expertise online to create influence, impact, income, and more importantly, financial independence. I'm your host, Flo Alexander. Let's chat. Hey mama, if you're listening to this, I know one thing about you. You want to be able to exit your corporate career so that you can spend more time with your spouse and kids, have the freedom to travel and live life on your own terms, all while creating real transformation and impact in the lives of others with your expertise. Well, you're in luck. I just released a new case study on the method moms are using to build a profitable online business, make a full-time income from home, and quit their 9-to-5. You can access it now at themonetizedmom.com/study. That's themonetizedmom.com/study. Again, themonetizedmom.com/study. Let's get on with the show. So let's think about it. You're a new mompreneur. You're still working your corporate career perhaps, and you're about to go crazy because you're like, I do not have extra time to be on social media. And you hear one guru saying that you need to go live every day. And then you have another one telling you to just post when you feel like it. So you need to understand in your limited time, what do you need to do on social media? And do you even need social media? So that's what we're going to be unpacking today. How to leverage social media to build your business. And obviously from the title, you can tell that you will be using social media. So that may answer your question right there. So I will admit that I'm not necessarily a fan of social media when it comes to producing content. Honestly, I love doing like live streams like this. I love teaching. I love sharing information. However, I just do not like the idea of social media, if I'm honest. Now, if it weren't for my business, I probably would not be on social media. If we're real, like I literally would I remember I took a year, several times. I've taken a year break from social media. And if I'm honest, like if it wasn't for business, I literally would not be on social media because I'm just not that interested in what other people are doing. But it's the landscape of today's age, and it is where everyone is. Like everyone is on social media. So the question that you have to ask yourself if you're trying to build a business is, why not use it? If your target audience is there, if they are engaging in social media, why aren't you using it as well? So I want us to get a proper perspective, though, of social media, what the relationship with social media has to do with our business and what it isn't. So in the most basic form, social media should be used two ways. So write this down if you're taking notes. Social media needs to be used in two ways. The first way is for collecting information, and the second way is for distributing information. So there's two main purposes. And I know we're thinking, social media, we should be socializing. But the whole premise of social media in its raw form is to collect information and to distribute or disseminate information. So let's break that down. Collecting information. As a business owner, the way that you leverage social media to collect information is how you keep a pulse on what your target audience is talking about. What questions are they asking? What issues are they expressing that they're having? This is how you learn more about their psychographics. So you are collecting information by way of engaging on the platform to learn more about your target audience. Why is this important? Because then it goes into how you message. It goes into the content that you then create, because you're able to take that information that you collected, that data that you collected, to be able to produce information that will be useful for them. And then to also gather information so that you are able to structure your content and your products and services around the needs that they are expressing on the platform. So you are collecting information. So leverage the platforms for data that they give you access to, but also use it to build your community. So obviously you are still collecting data, but the way that you do that is by building the community of your target audience. So leveraging that social platform to help build that community that you can then leverage to collect data that you'll use for your messaging and then for creating your products and services. Now, the second way that we want to leverage social media is distributing information. So this means posting your valuable expert-based content that's going to help solve a problem for your target audience. letting people know about your offer and how they can connect with you outside of social media. Because we know the reality of social media. It can be here today and gone tomorrow. It could shut down. They can ban you. Social media, you do not own any of the social media platforms. We are at the will of an algorithm. So in order for you to be most effective with the platform, you need to use it to distribute information for ways that people can connect with you outside of the platform. This means getting on your email list or getting on your text message list. So you need to use that to distribute information. So providing solutions to the questions that they're asking and the problems that they're having, but then also giving them a way to connect with you outside of the platform, right? So think of social media almost like a dating app, right? I've never used a dating app, but I imagine that this is what it's like. You're putting out information, right? You're putting out pictures of yourself, information about yourself, so that people who are interested can connect with you. And then if it all goes well, then you will connect with that person off of that app, right? And then it blossoms into a budding relationship. And the next thing you know, you're married with kids, right? So think of social media in the same light. It is just a way to connect with people, to be the initial conversation starter or the initial point of contact. And then it leads to a way to build a long-term relationship outside of the platform. And then ultimately you guys are able to connect and do something bigger, which will be in the form of actually working together. So that's how we need to think about social media, right? And if you think about it in that way, when it comes to your business, I think it'll be a lot less overwhelming. A lot of times we get caught up in the small questions about social media and the making it more like a burden, to ourselves. And it really doesn't have to be that. You need to leverage social media as a tool for your business and not get trapped into the many nuances of social media. In the finance world, I like to say a budget is a tool and not a trap. In the business setting, I want you to understand that social media is a tool and it should not be a trap. So don't get caught up in it. It's literally just a means for collecting information and then also distributing information and relationship building within that context. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Now I've obviously just explained how to leverage social media and how to think about social media having that right context. But then I want to talk about, I'm actually going to answer some questions regarding social media. So if you have additional questions, leave them in the comments and I'll answer them at the tail end of the questions that I already have prepared. So I'm just going to be doing a Q&A style training today, so that if you have questions, go ahead and drop those and I'm going to answer some questions, some frequently asked questions that you may have in mind as well. So the first question is, do you have to be on social media? And I think I've already answered that question in the context of what this topic is about, how to leverage it to grow your business. So I would recommend that, yes, you're on social media. Now, you don't have to do anything. As the Apostle Paul says, that anything is permissible, but not all things are advisable, right? So you can do whatever you want to do, right? But if you're building a brand and a business that's centered around you, then the obvious answer is yes, you need to be on social media. Why? Because your target audience is on social media. For you to neglect social media is to neglect a whole sea of people who could be potential customers and clients of yours. So I always say, go where your people are. If they're on social media, go on social media. Even if that's not something that you personally enjoy, I already told you how I would not be on social media if it were not for business. But you need to go where your audience is. So if you are building a brand around yourself, then the answer is yes, you need to be on social media. And to be honest, the reality is that social media is the new business card. Like very few places I go where people are still taking business cards. Like for me, that's unheard of. Ask me the last time I got business cards printed, right? But social media has become the new business card. So when people meet you, the first thing they're probably going to do is try to find you on maybe Instagram. Depends on their age group. They might try to find you on Facebook, So social media is like your business card. So the answer to the question of, do you need to be on social media? If you are building a business in this day and age, you do need to have a social media presence. Now, social media presence is not the same thing as spending all day on social media and being consumed by it. It just means that you need to be present on the social media platform so that when people are looking for you and they're looking for your business card, they're able to find you. The second question is, which platform should you use? Now, my answer to this is whichever is appropriate for the audience that you're trying to reach. So I strongly, though, recommend that in any case, you do need to have a platform that allows you to host long form content. And my recommendation is YouTube, but quite honestly, YouTube really isn't a social media platform. YouTube is a search engine. So just like Google is a search engine, YouTube is owned by Google. YouTube is a search engine that just provides feedback in the form of videos. So that would be my recommendation, is for you to definitely get on YouTube and leverage video content. It's obvious that that is the way that all social media platforms are going. But if you're going to be on any platform at all, I definitely recommend YouTube as a platform of choice, which I've talked about in a previous training. So you want to check that one out. But I definitely suggest you having a presence on every platform that makes sense for your audience. So for instance, for my business, which is Mama and Money, I have YouTube, which is one of my long form content platforms. Again, not necessarily a social media platform, but I'm on Instagram, I am on Twitter, and I am on Facebook. And then I also have a TikTok. Am I active on all four? No. Do I post every day on all four? No, but I have a presence so that if someone were on that platform and they are my target audience and they want to connect with me, they're able to find me there. So I would just say, make sure you have a presence everywhere your audience would be. And that does not necessarily mean that you are consistently actively posting and engaging on all platforms. I'm a huge proponent of repurposing content so that you aren't working ridiculous, amounts of hours and doing unnecessary work. But I do recommend having a presence on all the platforms that are applicable to your audience. The next question is, how often should you post? So again, like I said, all things are permissible, not everything is advisable, right? So there is no requirement on how much you need to put. Like there is no set, you have to do this. Everything is up to you, right? However, what I have learned over the past year, like last year, I did not post on social media at all, was still able to make money. But this year I've done a complete 180 in that I literally post on a platform every single day, and in some cases multiple times a day. And I've seen how that allows you to grow quickly. So it depends on what your objective is. If your objective is to just have a presence and that's it, you can post whenever. But if your objective is to actually grow your business and to grow your audience at a rapid pace, then I recommend posting every day. And if possible, multiple times a day. And I don't want you to get overwhelmed with that. Oh my God, I have to post every day. Oh my God, I have to post 3 to 5 times a day. Repurpose content, y'all. That's all I can say is like just repurpose content. And that's how you get repurpose and schedule content is how you get around that need to have to post multiple times a day, but not necessarily having to be present multiple times a day. So that is my answer to that. Do you have to, how often you post? If you really want to grow your business and you're serious about growing your business, definitely post at least once a day. And then specifically, I've said this before, video content. Every social media platform is prioritizing video content, short form video content. So that's what I would recommend posting. But again, you can do that by just simply repurposing content and then scheduling things out, which is what I do. Do I have to be on social media all day? And I think I've answered this already. No. And if you have time to be on social media all day, then you're avoiding the real work that you need to be doing. And I can say that because I get that notification every Sunday on my phone telling me how long I've been on social media. So if you don't have to be on social media all day, but if you have time to be on social media all day, that means you got time to be doing other stuff that's actually more beneficial to actually growing your business. So my recommendation is to schedule your post and go. All right. What if you're not good at social media? How do you keep up with all the changes? All right. So here's the truth. Not everyone is well-versed with social media, and that's understandable. But if you're not well-versed in it, keep it simple. Here's an analogy I like to think about for this question. It is like driving a luxury car. So if you ever don't have to own one, but if you've ever been in a luxury car or test drove it, they like to tell you about all the features that it has. It has backlighting. It has chair massage. It has a heated steering wheel. Like, it has all this stuff. But the real thing is, like, do you even use all that stuff? Like, do you use all the bells and whistles? Or is it a matter of I just jump in my car and go from point A to point B? You don't have to use all the bells and whistles that are on social media. So just keep it simple. Just drive from point A to point B. It's going to do the same thing. So just keep it simple. And if you feel like you need to get more proficient at it, then my recommendation is to watch YouTube videos. Being someone who's on social media every day, there are things I do not know. I get on social media, I'm like, what is this new thing? And I just Google it and I find a YouTube video and I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is applicable to something that I can use, or maybe it's not. And if it's not, I just throw it away and like, oh, that's cool. But don't overcomplicate it. Just think of it like driving a luxury car. Just drive it from point A to B. You don't have to do all the bells and whistles. And then lastly is, do I need templates and fancy graphics, branded photos? And the answer is no. Quite simply, no. Keep it simple. When you've made money, then you can invest in some of those things. But no, you don't. If you're getting started, just start. Literally, and the way that I told you to keep it simple is to make videos. That is the simplest thing that you can do by taking your phone, holding it up, recording a video, and posting it. That's the most simple and basic way that you can leverage social media without getting caught up in all the bells and whistles and the pretty stuff. And here's the reality. The people that we see who are doing all these branded photo shoot and lifestyle photo shoot, sometimes they aren't making money. And they're making it seem as if that is how you have to build your business. And that's not the case. The real people who are making money are not spending their whole day doing photo shoots, because we don't have time for that, right? Keep it simple, provide valuable content. And also, if all you're doing is posting fluffy pictures and, branded photos, you're probably not providing much valuable information. So I would much rather have a valuable information that's very simple and not having all these bells and whistles than to just look at somebody's pictures that's been edited and that's unrealistic. I think I shared this before. Like, it just annoys me that people create lifestyle photo shoots in rented places. That makes no sense to me. That's not your lifestyle. That's a lie. So don't fall into that hype. Like, literally just create valuable content and people will appreciate it. And more importantly, stop putting roadblocks in your way to actually doing the work. So if you keep thinking, I got to have templates or I got to have a branded photo shoot, there's always going to be a reason for not doing it. So if you're thinking I got to have a photo shoot to post, then your next excuse is going to be, well, I got to find a photographer, or I can't afford a photographer. And then once you can get a photographer, then your next excuse is going to be like, well, I need to lose weight, or I need to get a stylist. So stop. No, you don't need all that stuff. Literally. I have never taken a branded photo shoot. Like, the most I have done is have my husband in our dining room that has no table, put up a white backdrop, and I said, take a picture. And I've been using the same picture since 2017, I want to say, before kids, because I was quite slender on those photos. But I've never spent the money to get a photographer, to get a stylist, to do this lifestyle photo shoot, because it's not necessary. It's not necessary. So you don't need all that stuff. And if you have to have a template, just go find something on Canva or something on CreateSpace where it's like pre-made stuff that people have already put together that you just got to put your information on. But don't make this thing harder than it needs to be. You don't have to have the templates. You don't have to have fancy graphics. Literally, just put video content out there that answers people's questions and give them value. Because that's what people are really looking for on the online space. We've seen enough filter photos. We've seen enough branded photo shoots that are not real, right? We've seen enough of that. People really want to get value online. They want to have information that can solve their problems. So stop putting roadblocks in your way to providing that information for them. As always, I hope that you found this episode helpful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. And with that, I'll talk to you in the next episode.